Kayla Halter from Newberry here. I'm out doing some bean scouting today and just wanting to update on growth stages and see how everything looks after 1 week post-frost. I did see a little bit of damage, just wanting to make sure that growing point is continuing to grow back and looks healthy. Something I noticed while I'm out here, we're seeing some feeding on the beans. Here's a pretty drastic one right here, but you can see the cotyledons down here have been chewed on quite a bit. The beans themselves are being chewed on, leaves chewed. So I got to digging around, and this field in particular is no-till, so there's quite a bit of residue laying around. So you start moving that residue back and looking. There's a lot of earthworms because this is no-till. This grower's been no-till for several years, and they do a lot of cover crops. But while I was looking around, if you guys can see this little critter down here, we have slugs still feeding on the beans, and this is a pretty big one. Usually we don't see slugs in May because it's warm and they've dried up and gone away. But we've had a lot of unusually cool nights here lately. Daily temperatures have only been getting up in the high 60s and dropping off really cool at night. So cool and wet temperatures with lots of residue like this, perfect for slugs to be out feeding on the beans. The other thing I have noticed too is we have some worms feeding on the beans as well. So checking him out. Oh, he just dropped off. They look like army worms, so I'm gonna have to pick them up and investigate a little bit more, but they do have two stripes down both sides of them. But still a lot going on in the field for being early season. Usually we're past this stage where we're having to worry about insects and making sure things are growing good. These beans have been in the ground since the 6th of April, but with the cool weather that we've had, things are not progressing as fast as they typically do. These beans right here, we can look at them even though they've been chewed on. So here's your pair of cotyledons right here. That's what initially comes out as the soybean neck pushes through. And then we've got our first set of true leaves. It's our unifoliate leaves. There's just one leaf on each side. They're a pair across from each other. And then this is what we call our first trifoliate. So there's 3 leaves. So this would be considered V1. It's vegetative growth stage 1. That's how we get the V1. And from there, we'll just, as we get more trifoliates, it'll be V1, V2, V3, until we get to the reproductive stages where we start to see the beans bloom and putting pods on and getting towards maturity. So there's a lot to look at today. Definitely still keeping us on our toes.